So our text for this morning is Psalms chapter 1. And again, we're using the Blue Letter Bible resource online at blueletterbible.org. This is a Christian resource, but it brings together and integrates numerous Bible study resources and makes it really easy to do some really powerful studies of the scriptures. But again, this morning it's Psalm chapter 1. So despite the fact that this is a Christian resource, we are going to see that the actual meaning of the Hebrew Tanakh shines right through any Christian bias that may exist in this translation or in this resource. So you'll see the heading says the righteous and the wicked contrasted. So this flies in the face of the Pauline Christian assertion that there was no person righteous before an alleged human sacrifice. So what does it say in verse 1? Blessed is the man who walks not in the counsel of the wicked, or does not walk in the counsel or advice of the wicked, nor stands in the way or the path of sinners, nor sits in the seat of scoffers. So that word scoffers in Hebrew, lutz, and it says to scorn, to make mouths at, talk arrogantly, to boast, to scorn, to mock, deride, to ridicule, to have in derision. To me, based on the translation, to make mouths at, I would think a good translation of this would be to be a backtalker. So there's the man who doesn't walk in the advice of the wicked people, and he doesn't stand in the path of sinners or practitioners of sin, and he doesn't sit in the seat of backtalkers, those who backtalk to the Creator's instructions. You could probably think of some people you've met or some people whose words you've read who fit that description. But verse 2, but his delight, and that word in Hebrew, chefetz, it means delight or pleasure. So the blessed man, his delight or pleasure is in the law or the Torah. We can verify that. There's the word, Hebrew 8451, Torah. His delight is in the Torah of the Creator, and on his Torah he meditates day and night. And that word for meditate is haga, and it's kind of variously translated. It says meditate, mourn, speak, imagine, study, mutter, utter, roaring, to moan, growl, utter, muse, mutter, meditate, devise, plot, speak. Kind of reminds me of, when you'll see an Orthodox Jewish person, he's studying the Torah and his lips are moving maybe, and he's reading the text and he's going over it. So in verse 3 it says, he is like a tree planted by streams of water that yields its fruit in its season, which, you would assume is a good thing, right? And its leaf does not wither. So it's not like a plant that's failing to thrive. In all that he does, he prospers. But verse 4, the wicked are not so, or they're not like that, but they are like chaff. That's like the, I think the thin, almost like shell of grain. They're like chaff which the wind drives away. So it's just, they're blown away so easily by whatever the current distraction is, or the current trend is. And in verse 5, therefore the wicked will not stand in the judgment. So when there's a case and a judgment's being given, the wicked people are just hauled off to their punishment. And sinners will not stand in the congregation of the righteous. For the Creator knows the way of the righteous. That word way is derek, which is kind of a synonym for living the commandments of the Torah, the law, the instruction of the Creator. For the Creator knows, and the word there, knows, is yada. It's like when Adam knew Eve, it seems to describe like intimate knowledge. For the Creator knows the way or path of the righteous, but the way of the wicked will perish. And that word perish is well, that's actually the word for congregation there, but the word for perish is abad, and there are a number of other words in the Hebrew Strong's close to it of a similar root. But if you keep going, and it all talks about destruction, if you keep going, there's a beta, and it keeps bringing up the Greek underworld, Hades, for some reason, that commentary. But if it keep going, it goes to it's kind of hard to read that. Abedo? Abeda, yeah. And then the next word is Abaddon. And you might remember Abaddon from the book of Revelation, chapter 9, verse 11, where strangely this word is the name of an angel, again, or messenger, more accurately, a messenger by the name of Abaddon, but in the Greek tongue hath his name Apollyon. And then there is some extra biblical, as in external to the Bible, commentary on who this messenger is, but I don't think anybody really knows, because it's not common to the rest of the Bible. It might be found in some extra biblical literature again, but it's not a name that comes up typically in the lists of names of angels, so whatever. It's probably some kind of inside joke with the Romans. So back to the passage. So here we see that righteousness is really dependent on hearing, studying, and doing the Torah, the commandments given by the Creator to the children of Israel. Some of those commandments are also incumbent upon non-Jews. So if a non-Jew wants to be righteous in the Creator's sight, according to the prescription and instruction that the Creator provided in his revelation, the Torah, then he has to do those commandments that are his obligation. The contraposition, the other side of the coin, is that a person who doesn't delight or take pleasure in the Torah of the Creator and in his commandments, who doesn't meditate on it day and night, it isn't something that occupies or takes up space or is requiring rent in his head. If it's someone who cannot stand when a legal case is against them, but is hauled off as the guilty party, then that person isn't righteous, they're wicked. So really someone who is opposed to the Creator's Torah, his instructions, his commandments, is a wicked person. If there's someone who's taught against the Torah and against the commandments, for whatever reason, whatever justification, whatever mythology has them thinking in that way, then this is how the Hebrew Tanakh defines a person as being wicked. So there are people who might want to take an accounting of whether the original scriptures, the Hebrew Tanakh, said it was possible for a person to be righteous, and also whether they themselves are living and walking that derech, that path, that way of righteousness by paying attention to the Torah and doing it.